Number 3, all flat earthers say the same two things about water. The first is, water doesn't curve, and the second is, water finds its own level. The second phrase is completely meaningless, so the fact that you all say that exact thing verbatim is just one of the many demonstrations that you all blindly repeat what you hear without giving it a moment's thought. As for the first phrase, stating that water doesn't curve is at least a coherent thought. However, it is dead wrong. Put a drop of water on a piece of wax paper or a leaf. What does it look like? A freaking sphere! Isn't that something? In your haste to mindlessly parrot what you heard from flat earth priests about water, you forgot to look at water. Water curves, my friends. Look at this curved meniscus. Look at these waves. Water curves all the time. Water is not magic. It is subject to influence by external forces just like all other matter. With a spherical water droplet, that's the electromagnetic force. Water molecules make hydrogen bonds with one another, which in this context we refer to as cohesive forces. That's why water has a very high surface tension. And that's why a water droplet remains spherical, so that it can maximize the number of hydrogen bonds that are formed and keep the system at the lowest energy possible. So clearly and indisputably, water curves. In this example, it is due to the electromagnetic force. It is therefore quite easy to understand that it can curve under the influence of any force, including gravity. The oceans conform to the curvature of the earth just like the land does, and for the same reason. This is why saying that water finds its own level is absolutely meaningless. You think that level means flat, as though on the globe model, water should just magically project into space at some arbitrary angle. In fact, level just means as close to the center of the earth as possible. What's most hilarious is that even in the tool called the level, which only works because gravity exists, there is a curved bubble right in there. If the bubble is curved, what is the liquid, which is mostly water, doing around that bubble? It curves. It is absolutely astonishing how the things you repeat from flat earth videos are incompatible with even the most trivial everyday observations. You should acknowledge that.
Hey there, your meniscus there was curved the wrong way. In chemistry class, we were always told to measure the bottom of it because it was a false impression of the level. The level of the water was actually at the bottom of that curve. That's just something it does when it attaches to a glass. Yeah, no, it's actually we say large bodies of water at rest seek to find level. We're not the only ones that say it. Engineers that go to college for hydrodynamics or whatever, they one of their properties that they clearly say on their website is um, water at rest keeps a surface level, or it keeps surface level at rest. So I mean, and I'll put that web link in here. You can look at it yourself. Um, it's interesting. He mentions uh, electromagnetism. He just ripped that apart in his other part. It's like, come on, dude. There's so many videos where they've shot lasers across large bodies of water, and the laser reflected uh, the the laser light going across the water reflected the laser in the water, and it was parallel all the way across. I'm gonna put the little snippet here in the end. I'll put that in here, and I'll put a curvature test in here as well. And I'm gonna make a part two to this as well. Uh, Field Engineer Corps did a 1 hour video of um, doing a laser test, and these guys they did it right. You need to look at this video; it's pretty wild. They didn't just go out there and cheeseball it. I mean, if I remember correctly, it was a $10,000 laser, and they had in all like refraction and this and that and humidity and oh my goodness. And there's something else in there as well. Like wind will manipulate light. It's pretty wild. One segment they're like, "Quit moving the light," and they're like, "We're not moving the light. We're not even touching it or the laser." And it was just the way the wind was pushing it, so at a distance it looked like the light was bouncing, and it really wasn't. So it's pretty cool. So check that out. It's large bodies of water, and as far as the water level goes, I've done construction for a long time, and I really don't think Dave's ever touched a level in his life. Yeah, okay, the water curves around the bubble. Whatever. What is your proof? Um, in order to test the curvature, to test that water remains level, you have to do a large body of water. Okay, that's the point. You can curve small bodies of water, whatever. You can do it with a magnet. You can do it with sound waves. Okay, I can show you a video where you can make water levitate and float with an ultrasound or ultrasonic waves, rather. In fact, I think I put it in my first video against this guy. Just screwing around and giving you a little idea of the stars that I'm going to do here pretty soon. Yeah, no, even if you look at a glass of water, the water's flat. Look at a pool, the water is flat. There's no curve. The only curve you see is when it hits the edge of something, it curves up. Or if you're filling your dog's water dish, you know those water dishes you have your dogs, you got those big old, you fill the big jug and you put it on top of the dish and it only fills the water up so far. If you took that jug off and you filled up just a bowl of the water and you watched the water rise up the incline, it'll curve backwards. Okay, it won't curve upwards like if you were having a petri dish where it curves down and you gotta look at the bottom part of that meniscus. It does the opposite. So yeah, water's pretty unique, but the what we're saying is large bodies of water at rest remain level, and they do, and that, Professor Dave, is indisputable. Okay, you can say whatever you want. Sure, you got waves, whatever. They're manipulated by motion or a current of some sort. So he's way off the charts. Anyway, I'm going to tag in some videos with this, and I'll cut this one as short as possible. And I'll put part 2 up. I'll just say part 2, and it'll be the Field Engineer Corps' laser test on long bodies of water. It's an hour long. I encourage you to watch it. It's pretty wild stuff. It came out, I think, a year ago. And these guys, like I said, they put in every single different possibility that could go wrong, calculated it and all that. I mean, these guys, they went all out. So check that video out. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone. Today's video will simply be a quick summary of an amazing flat earth proof made by our good PhD friend, Dr. Jon D. His video is extraordinary. It not only debunks the globe myth, but also teaches us in demonstrable detail about mirages and refraction and how the physics of refraction and mirages cannot cause distant objects to magically refract around a physical curvature blockage to present a false flat earth. It's absurd. It's impossible. At the making of this video, Dr. Jon D's video only has 920 views, when it should have hundreds of thousands of views, and I only want to bring more attention to Dr. Jon's work. I'll have a link in the description, and I strongly suggest you watch the 1 hour and 15-minute long video, subscribe to Dr. Jon D, and share his video and channel everywhere. A big thanks to those channels which have already shared his work. Dr. Jon D's long-distance observations were of the Rampion Wind Farm, which is located 8 miles off the coast of England, between England and France. I have identified his approximate coordinates here, in front of the Worthing Sailing Club. Here is more documentation regarding the location of the wind farm. We are concerned with these 6 turbines on the left, numbered 1 through 6, which will appear on the right-hand side of the actual video. From the observer's position, the closest of those 6 turbines was a little over 8 miles away, and the furthest of the turbines was nearly 11.2 miles away from the camera. Now, Dr. Jon did film from 2 different camera heights, 2 feet and 3.5 feet. I'm going to be concentrating on the 3.5 foot footage. Here's footage of his camera at 3.5 feet, and it also shows his location in front of the Worthing Sailing Club. Under the globe model, the horizon marks the physical point at which the purported curvature begins to obstruct distant objects. Dr. Jon D defined the globe physical geometric horizon as the maximum distance that the sea and the sky can be observed to meet. It's a good definition. You can calculate the distance to the alleged globe horizon by multiplying 1.225 and the square root of the observer's height in feet. Or you can just use an online calculator like this Earth curvature calculator that uses the official globe dimensions. So, according to the official globe math, at a 3.5 foot observation height, The physical horizon would have to be closer than a mere 2.3 miles, and that's assuming a perfectly smooth ball. So, large waves, miraging, and atmospheric opacity may easily reduce that distance to the alleged physical horizon, but there's no way to increase the distance to the globe physical horizon without increasing the elevation of the camera. For brevity, I'm leaving out much of Dr. John D's footage, but you should go and watch it all. I chose this specific footage because there is a distant boat far behind those 6 turbines. Of course, the boat should be entirely hidden behind the supposed ball of Earth, but that's not what I want to address. Because the boat is higher prospectively than the base of the turbine that was 11.2 miles away, we know, as a matter of fact, that there is absolutely not even a centimeter of curvature present. Remember, according to the globe, the horizon was supposed to be closer than 2.3 miles, and that horizon is far beyond the turbine, beyond 11.2 miles. What is the reasonable implication of this video evidence? This is indisputable evidence that there is no measurable curvature when the globe model says that the curvature should be easy to measure and detect over these distances. Because the curvature does not exist, the globe model is false. If you know my channel, you know I have dozens of these long distance proofs. This Flat Earth Awakening is our path to freedom, because until we can set aside these biggest and easily proven lies, we'll never be able to shake off this stranglehold on humanity. And that's the only reason why I'm here. Thank you, Dr. John D., for your amazing work. May God bless you all in your pursuit of truth. At Bear Lake, between the states of Idaho and Utah, this time in freezing conditions. The water and air temperatures were nearly the same, very cold. I was located on the north end of Bear Lake in Idaho. Robert Scott of FE Corps was frozen on the south side of the lake in Utah. At 18.8 miles and a laser height of 5 feet off of the water, according to the globe math, the globe horizon should have been closer than 2.7 miles away, and Robert would have had to have been at a minimum height of 173 feet to have seen my laser on the alleged globe. It's the same amount with this online calculator. The math is certain. Here are the metric measurements if you care. 173 feet is huge. That's enough alleged Earth curvature to hide a 170-foot structure like this one. Obviously, I didn't have to climb on top of a structure like this to see Robert's laser. The globe is actually pretty ridiculous when you think about it. But with my laser test at these distances, it is difficult because the opposing laser has to be pointed directly at me or I won't see it. Interestingly, I can't see the other laser pointed upward or sideways or at the slightest angle. The laser has to be pointed directly at me without the slightest variation. That proves that the laser isn't jumping 173 feet to get over a supposed Earth bulge simply so that I can see it.
Okay. I see your laser. I got it. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and see if what I can see. Well, that is fascinating. I see you across the water. Oh, look at that. I'm zooming out. It's like a tiny dot. Then when I zoom in, I got this giant blue line across the water.
Let's watch the video from Robert's side of the lake. Robert didn't have a high zoom camera like the P900 and only used his Galaxy cell phone, but you can still definitely see the laser.
Okay, there it is. There it is. Oh yes, there it. Yes, I can see it in the camera. Oh yeah, let me see if I can focus a little bit better out there. There it is. That's Ben's laser right there. That's beautiful. That is Ben's laser. There it is. Okay, we'll figure out the exact distance. There it is. It's 18 miles away. I can see it with my unaided eye. And as he flashes at me, oh yeah, that's so bright with my unaided eye. As he flashes at me, I'm going to hit him back now. Oh, I see ya.
I love this part.
See it? There you go.
I'm shooting your laser.
Right on the money.
Look at how perspective works. Look at the convergence of the two lasers. The big one is mine. The small laser is 19 miles away. That's fantastic. Anyways, that's it. Flat Earth proven again. You can definitely see both the source of the laser and the laser's reflection on the very flat water. There's no possible way that the laser and its reflection jumped 173 feet over the Earth bulge to present a perfectly flat water. That's insanity. Giant bulges of Earth curvature simply do not disappear without a trace. Without question, Bear Lake has no curvature whatsoever, which belies the globe because you can't have a large body of water with no curvature. And for that particular globe troll who said that he would become a flat earther once I proved there was no curvature across Bear Lake, well, we welcome you to our Flat Earth family with open and friendly arms.